I have to stop buying comic books. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you why. What's up, everybody? It's the Dude Without Fear here, and you heard me. I've got to stop buying comic books. Not because I'm in a financial bind, not because I'm broke, not anything like that. The reason why I have to stop buying comic books is you've heard me talk about it before, but this video is all about the read pile. So if you follow the channel, if you're a subscriber, you know that I've got this massive read pile, and I estimated it to be, like 500 or more books, right? That is ridiculous. That is a lot of books. But I actually counted up and gathered up my read pile, put it all together, put it in order, cataloged it, and took inventory. So I know exactly how many comics I have to read that are just sitting in this unread read pile. And I'm going to talk about it in this video. I'm going to tell you how many books it is. I'm going to show off the read pile. You may be wondering why I'm not in front of my trophy wall like I normally am. It's because I'm back in front of the Batman cabinet because my read pile is in my way where I normally film. So, things that I've learned about myself because of the read pile. I have learned that I not only love to read comic books and collect comic books, I love to buy comic books. And so much so that it's a little bit of a problem. But I will say this in my defense. A lot of this read pile comes from purchasing 2 comic book collections. It's not just me buying more books than I can read. Don't be mistaken. A lot of it is me buying more books than I can read. But some of it is me buying out some collections from people and not being able to get to them. Right? So I do love to buy comic books. I stopped getting on social media a lot recently, within the past couple months, and instead of, spending all my time flipping through social media, I instead spent all my time flipping through Mercari and eBay and looking at comic books and buying comic books. So it's a problem. It's a problem. I'm just going to admit it. I've got a problem. And so I am working to resolve this problem. So before I talk more about the pile, why don't we just show you the pile, okay? So here we go. Get ready. The pile. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. The read pile. We got 4 long boxes, 3 short boxes, and a bunch of trade paperbacks, omnis, hardbacks, that compendium, and that bad boy Galactus book over there. So, yeah, I mean, clearly I love my Treasury editions. I just need to read them. I've read some of them, I just haven't read all of the stories in them. Typically they reprint older issues of those stories. But so that first box over there is nothing but Flash comics. I bought a bunch of comics off of a dude on Facebook a couple years ago, and he was selling his comic book collection from when he was a kid for $50, and it was a long box plus of some comics, and most of them wound up being Flash. So there are 203 Flash comics in that box. I am not even a huge Flash fan, but I have 203 Flash comics to read. The second box is nothing but, Superman and Spider-Man. Most of those came from a collection I bought last summer, where I bought 400 plus comics for $100. So that's where I got most of those books at, and I also got a bunch of those at that convention I went to last year as well. The next box is mostly X-Men related stuff. It's also got some random Marvel and DC and Captain America in it. And then the fourth long box is Batman books, Green Lantern, Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and Doom 2099, and Conan. And then this first short box is nothing but random books. The box behind it is Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Punisher. And then the Wolverine box is random stuff like Airboy and Green Arrow and things like that. And then I've got those Treasury editions. There's 4 comics in that one. 5, 4, 1, 1, and then in that one, I've read the first 3 comics in it, which is The Coming of Galactus. We got 11 more books in it to read. I've got a bunch of Silver Surfer comics in the cabinet to read. Spider-Man, Untold Tales of Spider-Man comics in that cabinet, and then Power of Shazam in that cabinet to read. And then I've got 2 Golden Age Batman Omnis, the Richard Dragon Omni from Volume 1, Silver Surfer Omni, Captain America Omni, Invincible Compendium. The rest of the Lone Wolf and Cub Omni, I'm over halfway done with it. Monster of Frankenstein, Day of Vengeance, No Man's Land Volume 3 and 5. I need 4. Captain America Coming of the Falcon Epic Collection. That is actually only like 4 or 5 comics, because most of them are in this omnibus here. And the rest of the Iron Fist Epic Collection and Incredible Hulk Volume 1 Epic Collection and All-Star Superman. So that is the read pile. So now let's go see how many books this actually is. So I bet you're wondering how many total books are in the read pile. That number, ladies and gentlemen, is 1,702 comic books. That is back issues, that is trades, hardbacks, omnis, and digests. And it is 1,702 comic books. That does not include my new weekly comics that I get. I've got probably 15 unread new comic books from the last 2-3 weeks. So this does not include those. This is only back issues and trades collections. So what are my goals going forward? For the moment, as a collector. Number one, first and foremost, read the pile. All right. If you follow me on Instagram, Dude with That Fear Comics, which is also connected to my Dude with That Fear Facebook page, you know that I post mail calls there. Instead of filming a video about it like I used to, I just post pictures of them so you can see what I got in the mail. My main focus will be reading the pile. So when I read stuff, I will be posting what I've read, what I'm reading. And that way you can kind of follow along on this journey of me reading this pile. I've still got books coming in the mail, right? So I will still post mail calls there because I'm not going to 100% stop buying comics, right? Like I'm not doing that. I'm still buying my new books, right? Weekly. So like I'm still subscribed to those books. I'm still going to be buying stuff that, as a collector, you're always on the lookout for certain stuff, right? Like if I came across a Hulk 181 for $12, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm not going to buy comic books because I got 1,700 comics to read. No, I would do terrible things to myself if I passed up a Hulk 181 for $12. I'm just not going to do that. So don't expect me to do that. So if I find something that is just insane, an insane deal that I would just be dumb to pass up, like a Hulk 181 or a Daredevil #1 for like $12, $20, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy them, okay? But I am going to focus my buying. I've made a list, all right? And this list is books that will help me achieve reading every book in this read pile. There's some series that I'm collecting, like Batman and Robin Eternal, all right? I've got like 6-7 issues of that, but there's 26 issues of that story. It's all one big story. It was a weekly story that DC did. I don't want to read just the 6 issues that I have because they're all scattered around, right? So I want to complete that set and then read that whole story. So that's an example. I'm going to continue to buy that so I can read it. Some of these books in this pile, I've got miniseries. Spider-Man Redemption. I need a Spider-Man Redemption #1, but I have 2, 3, and 4. But I'm not going to start reading at issue 2, so I need a Spider-Man Redemption #1. So I'm still going to buy comic books, but it's going to be way more focused, and I'm going to channel my focus on books that I already have so that I can get those read, spend less money on comics in general, which is my goal for this year, is to buy less comics and get my read pile read, right? So these are my goals going forward. Number 1, read the pile. Number 2, only buy what I need to read the pile, unless it is an insane crazy deal, all right? And number 3, enjoy what I've already got. Enjoy the comics that I have, get them put up, get them ready to either get rid of what I wind up reading and not liking, or adding what I do like to the rest of my collection. Get them out of the way. They're in the way. You saw that. That's in the way. I need to get that stuff out of the way. So those are my goals. Like I said earlier, you can follow my reading adventures along through the hashtag #ReadThePile on Instagram and Facebook, and you can see what I've read that day. There may be days where I don't get to read anything, but I'm going to try to read at least a book a day just to get this pile done. So I hope that you will join me on this adventure. Let me know what you thought of this video, and as always, be excellent to each other. take it easy.